Hi, guys. A very warm and lovely welcome to Moments with Inonge, and thank you for tuning into our financial literacy segment. That's me and Joel. And tonight we have a very interesting topic. That is tonight, depending on where you're watching from, this afternoon or morning, like I say, depending on where you're watching from. And we're going to be discussing financial advice to the surviving beneficiaries, financial advice to the surviving beneficiaries. So this is very important because from time to time, people, as life being what it is, we go through loss. Either it can be a loss of a spouse or parents or siblings or somebody that we love, or somebody that we know, and they literally like pass on an inheritance to us, or we benefit something from them. Or if it's not like that, if we're not in like directly the people that have lost somebody, you may be appointed as an administrator, or as an administrator, or you may even be asked for advice. So our topic for discussion, like I said, is advice to the surviving beneficiaries. And this is a financial literacy segment. So guys, thank you so much for joining us online. Thank you so much for being part and parcel of this financial literacy segment. Please do like and share, tag somebody, tag your friends, let them be part and parcel of this financial literacy segment. Tag somebody who's lost a loved one before. Tag somebody who is responsible and wants to leave a legacy for their children. Tag somebody, that is an orphan. Just tag somebody to be part and parcel of this broadcast, because either ways, you may be a widow, you may be a widower, you may be an orphan, you may be an administrator. Either ways, life being life, you might find yourself in a situation where you would love to use what we're actually going to be talking about. So our theme on Moments with Inonge for this month of April is Arise and Shine, and it is taken from the book of Isaiah 60 and verse 1. And another service that is being offered on Moments with Inonge is actually the practical table. So I hope that you have joined for the practical, you have subscribed for the practical table, which always starts a brand new week on Thursday. So subscription is always open from Sunday up to Wednesday evening. And then Monday, we start a new topic, learning success proven strategies and tactics, and really getting to know how we can practically, just go into them. So like I said, we have a very interesting topic, and please guys, we urge and encourage you to participate. Drop your questions, drop your contributions, just feel free to flow and share with us, what your take is concerning surviving beneficiaries. So in the studio, we have with me Joel from JM Investment School. Hi, Joel.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you
Okay.
doing?
We are fine, we're very fine, thanks.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So Joel, just do a quick introduction of yourself, maybe in more detail than I would just say we have Joel.
Yeah. All right. I'm Joel, as you have heard, Joel Mufalali. I am the financial advisor, and I'm an accountant as well as a financial advisor. We are here to educate each other on how we can go about with finances. And tonight, we have a very interesting topic, and I hope everyone will be able to participate so that you can educate each other. So I am Joe Mfale, as you have heard, the founder of JM Investment School. So I also ask you to like the page, because there are a lot of other discussion that we are able to interact even outside this broadcast.
That is true. That is true. That is true.
Um,
And somebody may be asking to say, Inonge, on a financial literacy segment, why would you be discussing financial advice to surviving beneficiaries? Well, guys, the reason why we decided to bring up this topic is because life being life, we can't run away from it. You know, many people lose loved ones, and those loved ones, when they pass on to glory, they usually leave an inheritance. And most people don't really get to know what to do with that inheritance. They really don't get to know what to do with those benefits that their loved one left for them. You know, so this is why we want to talk about it, to get enlightened. We don't only talk about, you know, a selected area of life, but during these financial literacy segments, we really want to cover it all. And Joel, what do people really need to understand, you know, when it comes to financial advice to the surviving beneficiaries?
All right. Okay. Thanks so much, Inonge. Before I can go on with the question, yeah, I've just received a text to say there's also that other page is not, there's nothing. I don't know whether you have shared as well.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
on. From me,
it's
what I
on. Okay.
it's
All
on,
right.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So to come to your question, why we people needs to understand this. Maybe rephrase the question again. Sorry.
Yeah, my question was, why do people need to understand, you know, how to use the benefits that are being passed on to them?
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's very important. You know, like in that time, it's a very time of emotions, and after losing the beloved one, and people, they are always under emotions, and you find that their instinct is so slow, and sometimes they may not even use it because what is at play is emotions. So now this is a situation where people may even start making just hasty decisions anyhow. So it is important that we start educating one another in this very time, so that if that time comes, you should be prepared. You should know why others usually make such mistakes and why others excel in such situations. Because those situations, you can't learn about them during the time that you are in. It is a
Mm,
very difficult situation. We have heard so many people saying, it was because I was in that situation that I couldn't think straight. So
mhm,
this is the reason why we are here. All right. Then I think also you find that in families there's a lifestyle that the families enjoy because of having the full family. But sometimes if they lose their beloved one, you find that they lose that person who sometimes is the breadwinner, and the whole situation changes. So now we are trying to educate one another here to say, how can we maintain that status? All right, the way that the beneficiary used to provide to you should continue enjoying the same way, and there should not be any difference. You should not get into situations where you are destitute. That's what we want to do here.
mhm. Excellent. Awesome, Joel. You know, I love every answer that you have given because, you know, indeed, I lost my dad. I lost my dad, and you know, there was a certain lifestyle that we lived while our dad was alive. You know, and you obviously want to keep up with that lifestyle. It doesn't have to end, but the only way you can maintain that lifestyle is when you are literate, you know, about what to do when such a time comes. And also, you know, when you're going through emotions, there's you know, you want to spend just to make yourself feel good. And after all those emotions are gone, you ask yourself to say, why did I actually spend on that? Why did I do this? It's not only when you lose somebody, but it's also even when you're just feeling happy or sad, you know. So I
Yes.
think this is important to us because we can be helped to balance our emotions also through intellectual, wisdom. So guys, please once again like and share, tag somebody to be part and parcel of this segment, and please drop your comments, your questions, your contributions. This is our show. Together we make it what it is, and together we enlighten one another. So please drop your comments, tag your friends, tag your friends to come and see, tag your friends to come and be enlightened. You see, the trend on social media, Joel, is that when there is something silly going on, you find a lot of people tagging their friends to, come and be part and parcel of whatever is going on. But when it comes to conversations like this,
yes,
you find a few people tagging their friends. They are there, they want to listen in, they want to get exactly what is going on, but they don't want others to know. So, guys, as a responsible community, I would ask you to tag your friends
yes.
and like and share.
There's a slogan they say in Osaka, Itana Nani. You've heard
Oh,
about it. Yeah,
yes.
Itana. So if there's something like that, they start calling each other. So this is a show that everyone can also do. Itana Nani.
Itana nani, guys? Itanako munzako, aitaneko munzake na eve, so that tupunzisane. Itana nani? Wow, Joe. Nice one. Nice one there. So, guys, we have a very special guest in the studio. She's an awesome and amazing lady, and I call her Auntie Mildred. Please, guys, welcome Auntie Mildred, even as you, Itananani. Hi, Auntie Mildred.
Hello.
You are welcome to Moments with Inonge in conjunction with JM Investment School.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Auntie Mildred, would you love to just do just a brief introduction of who you are?
Okay. My full names are Mildred Akapelwa, just like you've heard. I'm a widow with 5 children. I'm also a social worker by profession. Yeah,
Wow.
that is it.
Okay. Auntie Mildred, we're so glad, we're so humbled that you'd be part and parcel of this financial literacy segment. We really appreciate you being on. And guys, please feel free to drop your comments, questions, and contributions. Joel, anything you'd want to say at this point?
Yeah, I would like to welcome Aunt Mildred, and I know we are going to have a very educative program, and I only hope even those people who are who are so well connected to this program can connect, so that they can learn something about these real life situations and real life advice.
All right. So thank you. Just to get us going in this financial literacy segment where we are actually discussing financial advice to the surviving beneficiaries, we'll begin by asking Auntie Mildred when she lost her spouse.
Okay. My husband died in 2016. That was September 19. I would say now it's about 4 years or so from the time he died.
May his soul rest in peace. So, what was, allow me to call him Uncle, what was Uncle doing? Was he in formal employment?
Yes, he was in informal employment. He was an agronomist by profession. Though, in government, they would transfer you to this department. By the time of the time when he was dying, he was a provincial resettlement officer, Western Province.
Oh, okay. Where I come from, Western Province. Wow. Okay. So for how long did he serve in government? For how long did he serve?
22 years.
Wow, that's a very long time. So he served for 22 years and passed on in 2016. And after he passed on, when were you given the benefits?
Yeah, the benefits, I would say, even now, I'm still waiting for the benefits.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because I would say I had the three, if I could exclude 2016 itself when he died, because when you just lost your friend, even movements becomes a problem. You can't face the community. It's you can't just, because every person you meet on the street, you do think she's, this person is wondering, why am I moving? After all, I'm a widow. I've lost my husband. So there's just that limitation whereby you can't reach, not even at the clinic, unless you are really, really sick. You can't move. So 2016 and part of 2017 up to somewhere in June, I couldn't move. So I started pushing the file in somewhere in July 2017. So I would count 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. That's when I completed the whole process of pushing the file.
Wow, that's a long time. That's a really long time. Joe, is there anything you want to say at this point?
Yeah, so this is also wonderful that we are also learning from her, and knowing that these things usually take time. Okay, and she has already mentioned that she's a profession where she is, and she's in social work. You are employment, I guess, right?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So this is an advantage to her, because after that situation, she's able to get something. But you find that there are situations where you literally have nothing. Okay. So now, from that period of 2016 to now, how would you survive? All right. So those are the areas that we are really learning here.
Yeah. That's true. Remember, our topic is financial advice to the surviving beneficiaries. So, those that are part and parcel of the Moments with Inonge community. Yesterday, we had an inspirational segment, drawn from the Word of God, where I was sharing to say, arise so that you don't get jealous. So, in connection with this financial literacy segment, looking at the situation that we have currently at hand, where Auntie Mildred lost her husband years back, but she's not yet able to get, she hasn't yet been able to get the benefits. So in such a time, what happens? Because you see, as somebody that has lost somebody that was a pillar or somebody that was a partner, because I believe Auntie Mildred was working while her husband was alive, and she was also contributing to the well-being of the family. But because, obviously the husband being a major head in the family, he contributed the most part. So what happens is that he actually like a huge part of their finances was actually taken away. So in this case, we just need to really we're here to encourage everyone to arise, even in a point where you lose somebody, you lose a source of income, because we need to be realistic about or these, surviving beneficiaries, and also what is currently going on. When we look at this COVID-19, a lot of people have lost their loved ones. And, it's a time when people need to, pick up from where they are. So, Auntie Mildred, having said this, first, I heard you clearly talk about, a time when you were not being able to move because the society actually would be saying, you are a widow, why are you moving? I know from scripture, from the little knowledge that I have from scripture, that, there is no recommended time for somebody to actually sit and be mourning, but society expects you to do that. But at the end of the day is, how are you going to, how are you surviving? How are you going to survive if you're just seated? Because it's one thing for the society to expect you to sit down and mourn, and it's another thing for the society to actually come and bring you stuff. So from your experience, Auntie Mildred, I would really love to ask, if you had the society coming to you and bringing you stuff.
I'm glad you asked that question. Where my husband and myself were colleagues, we're friends. So I would say, for me, I had a friend. I don't know. I had a friend. I had a father. I had a brother. I had a sister. I had everything in him. So when he just died, I was in Livingston. I was working actually with Joel, I think. No. Joel had not yet joined us that time. So when he died, I came here. I did what I could. It was tough, of course. And by that time, I had 2 children at school, at secondary school level. So I called the children. They came. When I came in, because on top of what had happened to me, I had another funeral. My niece had died. Like I would say, I had 2 corpses, 2 bodies in the mortuary. In the same area, same mortuary. So when I came, by the time I was coming here, I didn't even know my husband had died. So when I came here, I found my children, because prior to that, it was like today, Sunday, I'm communicating to him because of the funeral that I had received from my sister's home to say my daughter has died. So in the evening, I communicated to him. I said, Stan, did you hear what had happened at my sister's home? He said, yes, actually, I'm preparing myself to go there. Then we started talking about the issues of fuel, because I was driving. So I told him, by that time we had a challenge with fuel in Livingston. So I told him, I said, I don't know where I'm going to get fuel, because it seems in Livingston there's a shortage of fuel. Then he said, let me link you to my colleague in Livingston, a provincial resettlement officer in Livingston. If he gives you a 20 liters, can you reach Munga? I said, yes, because I still have something in the tank. So the following day, I'm calling him now to direct me where I'm supposed to find this man who was supposed to assist me with fuel. Then somebody said, when I called, I dialed his line. When somebody said, ndiwe ndani we? Uyu muntu wamene utumira afa tipereka body kumochari. I said, what? Then I called it again. Then that's when he became lenient. Then they started talking. I even called the office, my office mates. After that, they came. Then I was dispatched to Mungu. When I came here, I gathered my children with that pain. You can imagine. I gathered them.
Yeah. So Mildred, from that time, have you ever had someone who would guide you on how to manage finances?
That's where I'm coming. That's where I'm coming, because I want to first answer Inonge, but because her question is very interesting, and that's where most of the widows actually find challenges, because when you just lost your husband, it's tough. When you had your husband in place, You have all these friends, relatives, some of them, they would come and introduce themselves to you. But that time around, Joel, I can tell you, no one would come. I can attest to you that actually there's a year, 2018, where I could stay no breakfast. You don't want to talk about breakfast. Lunch itself, I had to go around in people's yards plucking vegetables, those local Bondwe and stuff, and Mundambi. So there's literally no one who would come to your aid. No one, not even relatives.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
For me,
So,
actually, that is in my case. You want to someone to advise. Come on.
oh, okay. So you see, this is just to really stress the point, to say, you know, a conversation like this, like financial advice, to survive in beneficiaries, is very important, because we look at it as though people will always be around us, or things will always be the same, but life eventually happens, and things usually change, and that support that we had, usually it doesn't come through. So now, Joel, we have you on this panel as a financial advisor, right? So
Yeah.
right now, how we're going to go about our conversation is, we're going to be looking at how somebody that has lost, like a surviving beneficiary, how they can benefit from somebody who was in employment. What's the procedure like? How do these things go on?
All right. Okay. I got to, I was paying attention here. I was so interested that the spouse had worked for a very long time. 22 years is a very long time. And you know that after working for 22 years, you can't get into a situation where whatever you have worked in 22 years just comes to an end, maybe within a few years' time, say maybe 3 years and so on. So that's what we are talking about here. So the most important aspect is employees. What I know, employees, those in the government, they, in the time that I've heard about 2016, they are like under the pension. Okay, in government they are under a pension. Then as things are changing, the way the pension systems in government is changing, is now coming on to the PSPS Provident Fund they have, whilst the private is more on NAPSA, and they want all the pensions to be collected by those in entities. Then in her case, if things won't change, I don't know the law, because she hasn't yet collected, but she still falls under the old act, where she's supposed to get a lump sum. Okay, so this is a situation where, when you get that kind of money, before you spend it, okay, because it is about emotions are two ways. There are happy emotions and those other sorrowful emotions. They are all emotions. They work the same way.
Yeah.
So the moment you get that money, don't just go and spend. What you need to do is you have to keep it. Okay. So there's you keep it for some time. Like what I mean, keeping it is the best way is to invest that money. Okay. So there is something that I want to show you. Let me just, I want to waste much of the time. I want to show something, just to demonstrate what I want to talk about.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So let me see if I'm able to. Okay. All right. Okay. It seems I'm unable to do it right now, but I wanted to show the other way. Like for instance, there are some areas that you can invest the money. The moment I'm talking to all the people who are receiving benefits, like those who are still enjoying the lump sum, you can take that money to. There are many places that are already registered by the pensions and insurance. Like what I usually tell people is that you find that. That money was being saved for your retirement, for for the family retirement. When the retirement of that time comes, but you find that if people receive it now, for instance, your husband was supposed to retire in 10 years' time. So it means that's the period that you are supposed to spend that money. You don't have to spend it now. Okay? Provided everything is okay. But you find that it usually arrives at a time when the family is not okay. So people start getting it, pay this, pay that, pay that. At the end of the time, that money is no more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the moment you should be able to follow the same route. If your husband was supposed to retire at 55 years or 60 years, how old would you be? Okay, if even you would be 54 or 50, you also need to push it as your retirement. So what you are eating right now and what you are using, use it because you still have energy. All right? You still have energy to work. So continue working. Put that money under an investment. I would have demonstrated to you if I manage to show you how much you can earn when you invest under areas where there's compound interest. Okay, you find under a compound interest, you find that somebody invests 300 today, in 4 years that money doubles. But don't go to the investments that you see on the streets, because on the streets they are just after. There are a lot of con men, we've read about them. So you need to avoid those by all means. That's why you need to find somebody who is outside your situation to advise you. All right, not somebody who is already in the situation, who is in the morning situation and so on, because even him is going to provide you emotional advice. All right, so because of time, I would have gone into details, but I think from now we can move on.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great. So, in the event that somebody was actually employed, in the event that somebody was actually employed, what is happening is depending on your location, because we're not just speaking to people that are within Zambia, but we are speaking to people across the globe. It depends on what the act of your place of residence is. It's either you'll be getting payments in installments, or it's either you actually be getting lump sums. So depending on how that those financials the finances actually come in, what Joel is trying to say is, before you spend that money, you have to have an investment plan, and you have to plan it in such a way that the person that left that money was intending to get it. Because obviously, when that person is paying, subscribing for a pension, what happens is they say, when I retire, this is when I'm going to get this money. So obviously, they don't intend for that money to be used there and then, but later. So what we need to do is to have an investment plan. And we talked about emotions in the beginning. Our emotions are usually like everywhere, and we want to spend so much here and there, and maybe your own personal stuff as a beneficiary, like you've got your own personal problem, so you feel like, okay, let me sort out this, let me sort out that, let me sort out this. But one thing that I picked from Joel was, you can actually sort financial advice from somebody that is outside your family or your close circle, somebody that is not currently going through the emotion of loss. But then, Joel, like you're seated there, you have formal employment, and you're also doing something, and there's somebody who's like me, who's actually self-employed. So in the case where the breadwinner or the person that is deceased was self-employed, what does the beneficiary do? How do they go about it? Say, for instance, they had a business.
Yeah, I've seen those who are in self-employment. They
Yeah.
have gone to, maybe they have built this, they have built a house, they have built themselves a business, and so on. But currently, most of the people, you find that they don't have a succession plan. Okay, you need to have a succession plan. Who is going to do what you are currently doing? Then, secondly, you need to like a lot of people on the legal part, people have advised on how to write a will and so on, but the best will is to educate those people so that they can do exactly that what you are doing. That's the best will that you can give them, because they won't be able to go and just sell. I've seen a family, unfortunately, that family, after the deceased, they just passed on. I think it was last year. It's not even a year, but I tell you to say, the house is gone as we speak, and those businesses, they are sharing without the knowledge of how that person was doing it. And if you look at that investment, it's an investment that somebody has done for a long period of time, maybe 20 years. All you are doing is just to share it and destroy it within a year. That is very unfortunate. So for that kind of situation, you find that, especially if in a family they were not that very united, those situations happen. But when you happen to face a situation, also it's the same with those in employment. Seek someone who is outside your situation, so that he can tell you, somebody who is not in a hurry like you are. Okay, so that he can tell you what to do, how you can manage that business as a family. You need to continue doing the same way the owner of those things would have done if he was there. That's a catch point there. That's what we are supposed to do. So as you sit, you ask yourself, what would this man do if he was alive? All right, would he sell this house or sell the business? If the answer is no, so find a way of running it together. All right, you can't all be in management and so on. You can even find someone outside your family to run things on your behalf, someone who is very knowledgeable, even someone who was working with the deceased. So that is what is supposed to happen.
Okay, so great. I picked a lot of stuff from what you said, Joel. And just to contribute to this, when somebody that was self-employed passes on to glory, I think the beneficiaries should also learn. They can also learn how to run the business, through somebody that is currently working there, or through the management team that were already there. It's
Yeah.
very important. This is why it's a financial literacy segment. So it goes out to every self-employed person that is listening to us right now, to say, we don't even have to wait until we are gone, for the beneficiaries of our business to actually start to know what is going on in the business, or how we're running a business. So this is a wake-up call to all people, to everyone that is actually self-employed, to also find time to educate our children, to educate the beneficiaries, that are going to take after us, because we need to learn if the business is going to be passed on from generation to generation. Because when we're talking about inheritance, like something that somebody is going to benefit, remember the Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So meaning the inheritance should not just die with the people that are going to be direct beneficiaries, but they should also pass on. So how do they pass on? It's when you teach them what you do. If you don't want whatever you've invested in, your time, your money, your effort, to just be blown away, I think the onus is also on us that are self-employed to also teach, others on how to go about it. So Joel, I thank you so much for that. But then again, there are risks. I know that there are risks, and associated with handling money of the deceased. What do you have to say about that, Joel?
Yeah, you are right. Handling money of the deceased is a very risky venture. Be it an administrator and anyone else. One of them, you may even end up having a bad name with the family because everyone wants to have a cut and so on. And if they don't get anything, they will start talking about you. So that is one of the risks. And if you don't know where to take that money, where to invest, imagine you invest that money and that money gets wiped out. Okay, so it's a very big risk, and the children will never be happy with you. So those are the some of the risks that you need to consider. That's why before you can do anything, you need, like I said, you need to seek the services of an investment advisor, who is someone who is trained, somebody who has seen these things from different perspective, someone who is not in the same situation that you are in, because him is free, is able to use his mind very well. You are not able to use your mind very well because of the situation that you are in. So you need to have that conversation. That conversation is not a once-off conversation. It's a conversation that somebody can continue checking on you, seeing how things are going and so on. Then somebody can advise you to say, oh, you can do this. What are the safe investment areas for people in that situation? People in the situation of in that situation, they are the same as those who are in retirement. It's a very risk to rush into business. Don't rush into business. If you have a hand in business, you have to get maybe as little as 10% to try your business, because rushing into business that you are, especially the business that you have never done, is a very risk situation. That's why what we say is that take it to places where you can earn some interest on top. There, you go to very good interest. Again, the same investment advisor should lead you by the hand, take you by the hand, and what I mean by the hand is to guide you, to say that's a institution you can spend, you can invest, and maybe you do this much after a certain period of time. So with that, money requires extreme patience. It needs a lot of patience. Don't rush it, because the moment the minds you come, you gather your mind, you find that money will be no more. So I think even for Mildred, this is also a good time for her, because she hasn't even received anything. So this is also an advice that is also going to her.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
And coming to you, Auntie Mildred, I would love to hear what advice you can give to, widows or widowers, that have lost their spouses, that are waiting for their benefits. And also, what advice would you have? Because I heard you clearly when you said you've got 5 children. So what advice also do you have to the children of the deceased?
Yeah, it's very interesting, and I must admit, grateful, because I think this topic has come at the right time, like Joe mentioned. First and foremost, I think we are going to talk about the business when your husband has left you, where we are going to talk about whatever, taking your money to an institution where you need to invest this money. I think the first stage this woman, this widow has to do is first to sit down the children, because I want to believe that these are the first beneficiaries. Before even we think about the relatives and the whatever, sit down the children, talk to them nicely, show them that actually the man who used to provide for everything in that house is gone. Now that we have gotten what we have gotten, let's use it accordingly. And what you should do, put across to the first item, I think their education should come first in whatever. Even before you think about business, make sure that these children have they completed? Are they going to complete, and how? And then how much do I need for them to complete their education? because that is very, very good investment according to me. Once I educate my children, because even me, I'm human. I don't even know the time when I'm going to follow my friend. So maybe the best you can do is, first of all, to look at your children and then conscientize them, talk to them, change their mind. Because when like the way I am, my dear, it's very tricky, because the children, sometimes you try to talk to them. You know how it is when you are a single mother. Sometimes they don't even want to listen to you, but you have to put your down and tell them to say, the fact that my colleague is gone, that doesn't mean you should take advantage of me. No, all the rules which were in this house, they stand. Even the money which we are going to get, we had this plan with my husband, so we are going to go ahead with the plan. I think that is what I can advise to my fellow widows.
Yeah, very nice points there. Yeah, you need to tame them. That life has changed. They need to start accepting that. And also, you find that there was that lifestyle that where you are enjoying with your husband. Also, when you tame them rightly, you can be able, if the house was so big, just move to a smaller house, and if you're renting it, save that rent. If it was yours, enjoy the rent that is coming from there. I also heard you about school fees. Okay, school fees. This money for school fees should only come from that money, from the benefits, if only you cannot afford it yourself. So if you were able to afford it yourself, that money, like I said, it was meant for retirement. So even your husband wouldn't have used that money right now. He would have struggled to go and find that money elsewhere, not that money. Okay, so that's what we are to. Unless where you are saying is you are up to the end, then again, what you can say, you can also just get a small percentage to use. Don't get everything. I've seen some families where they get all that money, retirement, start buying school shoes, school uniforms, and so on. You are just trying to end everything. The struggle should not end.
So you know what I'm getting from Auntie Mildred and you, Joel, as well, is financial advice. You know, to the surviving beneficiaries would actually to be that, you know, when that money comes in, you've got to have a mindset that this money is not meant to be used right now and finished right now. You know, the mindset, the philosophy that one should adapt, you know, as a result of this financial literacy segment, is that money, you need to go on with life as though that money was not there. You know, you need to go on with life as though that money was not there, because once your mindset switches to say, okay, there is money that I can access very, very very easily and soon, and a lump sum, what happens is that you stop being responsible. You stop thinking in the right way. All you want to do is consume, because anything that is got cheaply is also lost very fast and quickly and easily. This is why we see people that had so much money inherit money from their parents, but within a year or two, they are bankrupt. We've seen presidents who, you know, died while they were presidents or after being presidents, and if you look at their children right now, it's a sorry sight. So financial advice from me is, you know, just don't get excited about it. You know, I happen to have lost my dad in 2015 December, and by the special grace of God, he left a will. You know, he left a will over the estates that he left and all that, which actually helped. And like Auntie Mildred said, it's very good to, you know, as siblings, those that are remaining, because it's not everyone that is going to have a surviving parent, you know. So as siblings, those that are remaining, hold each other's hands, build each other's hands, look at the ones that are behind you. Like if you were old, like the time that my dad was dying in 2015, I was already living in my own house, I was already driving my own car. So it wasn't an opportunity for me now to say, okay, he's dead, so now that money, my eyes even become much bigger, like, oh, that money, let me get it and now begin to use it. No, we had to look at the siblings behind me and think, okay, these are still going to school and they still have this. So we focus really on them, because even dad's will, that's how it was. It really focused on the ones that were younger. So I just want to give a big thanks to Auntie Mildred for just coming up and sharing your experience with us. It's not an easy thing to just open up and be able to talk about things like this, but I am so glad because it has come at the right time. There is a reason why you were part and parcel of this broadcast, and I just hope and trust that by the grace of God, you'll be able to multiply that which your husband left for you and your children, to the point where your grandchildren actually inherit it. So before we even go to the comments and contributions, if there are any, I would just love Joe to wrap up. So guys, drop your comments, questions, and contributions.
Yeah, thanks so much. And I also hope everyone has gotten the point from Auntie Mildred. Sometimes those who pressures the parents, the children, like she said, sit them down. Okay, so there's a quote which says, like in that situation, you say, when you change your feeling, you change your thinking and change your behavior. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so in that situation, you will change your feeling, then you change your thinking, then automatically you're going to change your behavior. So others, you find that they refuse. If they were staying in very good areas, maybe you tell them to say move from Salama Park and go to Kamala South. Then they will say, no, we are not choose, and so on. You have to change the thinking. Then the behavior will just change.
Awesome. So we have we just have a few comments. Guys, drop in your comments, questions, and contributions, if at all you have any. And if you found this segment to be very insightful, please do also let us know. We have a comment from Mulenga, and Mulenga says, watching from Livingston. Thank you so much, Mulenga. And we have a comment from Chuma Piri, and Chuma is saying, insightful. Thank you so much, Tuma. I guess people are dropping their contributions, their questions, and even after this broadcast is done, Joe and I will still be able to go to the comments and attend to whatever comment and question is there, because we know that a lot of people actually watch the recorded session more than the live session. So we'll definitely do that. So don't be discouraged that, oh, I'm watching the recorded session, so I can't contribute. Please do go ahead and contribute. And
can I just pass it? Just one comment I forgot to. Just one.
Sure, Auntie Mildred, sure.
Yeah. Yes, there's one aspect which is very, very important for the widows, actually. My husband, I would very quickly, because of time, my husband left an old father. So I've taken that old man into under my custody. I'm taking care of him. That is very, very important. If you can just do that, because between me and God, we know that I haven't received any package. So the man who was providing for this poor man in the village is God. So me, as a living spouse, I have that responsibility of taking care of the man. So if you did that to your in-law, God will bless you richly.
Indeed.
Okay.
Indeed. Amen and amen. Thank you so much, Auntie Mildred. I believe that is heartfelt, heartfelt advice, heartfelt advice. And right now, these things that we're sharing, they cannot really appeal to you if you have not gone through them. So it's only the people that have gone through them that it can appeal to. But I encourage everyone, just to be enlightened by this, because believe you me, even as the host of this financial literacy segment, there are things that I have taken, and there are things that I have learned, and there are things that I'm actually putting into consideration. And one point that I can really talk about is the self-employed actually beginning to educate their beneficiaries.
Exactly.
Yeah, their beneficiaries. So we have another comment from Suilanji, and Suilanji goes ahead and says, "Great stuff, really inspiring." Thank you so much, Suilanji, for that comment. And guys, we just want to thank you for your participation. Thank you for the comments. And we call it a wrap. Thank you so much for joining us, and looking forward to next week's financial literacy segment. Joel, what do we have for our viewers?
Yeah, for our viewers, next week, I think there's a topic that has been brewing around. We would look at real estate investment. Yeah, real estate wants to see that which is hidden in real estate investment. So make a date, and we will have other people that may come and join, those who have been in this business for long. So we are going to learn from them.
Oh, okay, great, 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 great. So we have Chinyama actually dropping a comment and saying, "Oh, I joined late." Chinyama, thank you so much for being part and parcel of this financial literacy segment. Even though you joined late, the good part about it is you can actually replay this financial literacy segment. You can actually watch it on YouTube, Moments with Inonge. You can watch it on Facebook, Moments with Inonge. You can watch it on Facebook, JM Investment School, and you can be enlightened. We also have another comment from Julie, and Julie says, awesome topic. Thank you so much, guys. The comments are coming in, and we are right at the end of this segment, and I hope that you've been enlightened. Stay tuned to JM Investment School as well as Moments with Inonge. We love you so much. We do really, really do love you. So Auntie Mildred, thank you. Joel, thank you.
So much. Yeah, it's been a wonderful topic. Thank you, Auntie Mildred. We have learned a lot. Thanks so much.
Thank you.